But I have to just say, anyone who has doubted me over the past decade about this evil woman now needs to eat some humble pie.
Meghan is at the bottom of the barrel.
It's going to be explosive.
In fact, I've seen the tapes. I've got them somewhere. God knows where now. I've got them on some
So you've seen Nudie Rudy Meghan too?
I've seen more than one thing.
The Sussex have been under fire from every angle for years. Big names like Piers Morgan, Samantha Markle, Valentine Lowe, and Thomas Markle Sr. all spoke out publicly, but the Sussex stayed silent.
Let me take you through what Tom Bower has revealed. He's told the Daily Mirror, "I've got a lot of new material already, and I think the whole world wants new insights. It's an amazing story."
Total ghost mode. Then came Tom Bower in 2022 with his book Revenge, dropping explosive claims about image control, calculated moves, and ambition. Still, nothing.
They tried to hide the files, and they failed.
They tried so hard.
Even when a major story accidentally revealed the names of 2 senior royals tied to sensitive claims, they stayed quiet. No statement, no comment, just silence. And sometimes silence speaks louder than words.
I can't wait to read this. There are many, many unanswered questions when it comes to Meghan Markle.
But then everything shifted. Just 12 days before a single copy even hit shelves, their spokesperson dropped the most intense public statement they've ever released.
Something is going on. And Meghan and all the things that she has done to, pull other people down and to question them and their behavior. Well, let's continue to turn the tables and talk about you, Miss Meghan Markle, and what you have done.
Words like deranged, conspiracy, and melodrama were thrown out there. It was like a panic attack in print. People guessed what it was about. Earlier claims, psychological accusations, media pressure, or even footage from the Invictus Games. Makes sense, right?
The key line there, and the line that really, really interested me, was not a question about whether she was a yacht girl, but just simply stating as a fact and then asking, was it double figures or triple in terms of how many yachts she was a guest on before she met Prince Harry?
Wrong. Reading the serialized excerpts in the Times front to back, something felt off. The usual drama was there. Harry's isolation, internal tensions, charity struggles, but the one thing that could truly shake the narrative? Completely missing. Not mentioned, not explored, nowhere to be found.
The yacht girl. Oh my God. Ghislaine Maxwell spoke. She said so. Virginia Roberts spoke. They both talked about Meghan Markle, but the world chose to ignore it. And even now, with these pictures out in the public domain, the press still refuses to expose Meghan Markle.
And that silence? That's where the story starts to twist. Just 4 days after those excerpts dropped, things escalated. Julie Bell, a writer known for stirring the pot, not playing it safe, entered the scene. She'd faced backlash before, losing her role at the Daily Telegraph in 2021 and paying damages to Ash Sarkar after a public dispute. Unpredictable? Absolutely. But she still writes,
Tom Bower is forensic in his investigations, and he does them over a period of time. This is not like a Daily Mail hatchet job or anything like that. He has a very solid track record.
Once a Soho House basic, always a Soho House basic.
On March 17th, 2026, she dropped a column that grabbed instant attention. The headline mocked Meghan's upcoming luxury women's retreat in Sydney with tickets nearly 3,000 Australian dollars. Sharp, personal, and exactly what readers expected. But the real kicker was buried in the middle, a single line that made people pause. She wrote, "No one will get to ask anything interesting like how many yachts she was a guest on before she met her prince. Was it double figures or triple?"
This guy has been around all of the time. Isn't that suspicious to you? Because it is for me. It is something strange.
This wasn't some random online comment. It hit print in one of the oldest magazines in English, founded in 1828. Editors saw it, reviewed it, and let it go public. That's huge, because for years, that topic stayed in the shadows. Online forums, anonymous posts, scattered discussions. Mainstream media avoided it.
She's been flown all over the world. The Suits cast members didn't understand where she got the money to fly business class all over the world.
But now, that line, it's crossed into the spotlight. The column didn't prove anything about Meghan's past, but it showed something just as big. The media is no longer holding back certain questions. That's a game changer.
This gentleman right here, that's Nick Jones, the original founder of Soho House. Guess where he's going there? He's arriving at Meghan Markle and Harry's wedding as guest of honor. Oh yeah, Soho was present there.
Before going further, a line has to be drawn, strong and clear. This topic has been tangled with false claims, misused images, and reckless speculation, so much so that entire platforms saw removals earlier this year. Some of the info floating around is solid. Some comes from named sources, and some totally made up.
You have to question that, and you have to address it, and it has to be something that we continue to talk about, because there is something there that we need to find the missing pieces to, because I believe a lot of it was scrubbed off of the internet way before we even knew who Meghan Markle was.
This breakdown sticks only to what can be verified. Opinions here are just analysis. The facts are already on record. One name keeps popping up in this story: Marcus Anderson. Born in Canada, Anderson started as a waiter and worked his way up inside Soho House until he became one of the closest people to founder Nick Jones.
The Meghan Markle yacht girl claims simply will not go away. And you know I've spoken about this before, but until now, no one in the mainstream media has been brave enough to go there. Well, that has just changed.
That kind of climb isn't luck. It put him right in the heart of elite social circles. He first crossed paths with Meghan Markle during her Suits years in Toronto. After that, he kept showing up at her royal wedding in 2018 and her New York baby shower in 2019.
And I wonder if Prince Andrew's going to come out and say, hey, Harry, I did your wife quite a few times on yachts before you got her.
What?
No.
This wasn't some casual acquaintance. He was firmly inside her inner circle. Royal correspondent Katie Nicholl told Channel 4 that Prince Harry actually asked Anderson to set up a meeting. Not a formal date, just a private space in one of Soho House's rooms where they could talk without drawing attention.
She was coming to New York all the time. She was in New York when Andrew was in New York for an entire month in September 2013. And guess who's on the other end with her Panama hat?
But Anderson wasn't the one who first connected them. In his memoir Spare, Harry explains that Violet von Vest Holtz initially introduced them via Instagram back in July 2016.
And I know what you're going to say. Maybe it was just that one trip. No, there were quite a few trips. There's actually quite a lot of pictures about them. There are 2 pictures that leaked.
Anderson stepped in afterward, managing logistics, locations, and early meetups. He wasn't the spark, but he helped build the setup.
They couldn't keep these pictures hidden because there's just too many people involved. And now they don't care about protecting Meghan Markle anymore.
Then things get sharper in Tom Bower's Revenge, published in 2022. Bower claims Meghan regularly attended Hollywood parties hosted by Brett Ratner. The claim paints a picture of someone consistently moving in high-profile social circles. Bower also quotes her childhood friend, N.K.I. Pretty, describing her as a determined social climber who had her sights set on a prince since high school.
What is she doing on the yacht? Why did David Boies want to question her? Why is she with Karina Shuliak? Why are there people in Meghan's circle, social circle, that are in the same social circle as Andrew?
That quote comes directly from someone who knew her long before global attention, so it carries weight. Now the story twists a bit. At the time, a major stake in Soho House, around 60%, was owned by Ron Burkell, a billionaire with wide business interests. Public documents link his name to past legal records involving controversial figures. His name showed up in contact lists and flight records later released by U.S. legal authorities.
I want to ask Meghan Markle about her yacht girl past. To me, it feels like quite a significant moment because, of course, there is so much about Meghan Markle's time on those yachts that we do not know.
Here's the key. There is no verified evidence connecting Burkell directly to Meghan Markle. That claim doesn't exist in credible reporting, but his position at Soho House and Soho House's role in these early introductions keeps drawing attention. It's an indirect link, but enough that commentators keep pointing to it in recent discussions. Keep that name in mind. It keeps resurfacing. Then in February 2026, a photo spread across multiple platforms. 7 women on a yacht-style boat, bright sun, relaxed vibes. It looked casual on the surface.
the publication of Jessica Reed Krause's House in Habit investigation into Meghan Markle's Yacht Girl past, which she has promised and has spent 6 years working on. And I am licking my lips in anticipation for when she drops that.
But 2 red arrows were added, one pointing at Meghan Markle, the other at a woman labeled Karina. The caption pushed a bold story, and the post blew up fast. Hundreds of thousands of views, shares across Facebook, Reddit, and X. It went viral in no time. But here's where things get interesting. Snopes checked it out. The photo itself, totally real. Meghan is in it with no signs of editing or manipulation. But the identity of the second woman? Wrong. She's actually Flavia RC, who runs a page called The Chic Picnic. The original photo was posted on August 10th, 2016 by photographer Carlotta DeLuca, clearly tagging RC by name. So yes, the image is real, but the story built around it was off. That misidentification doesn't kill the story, it actually sharpens the questions.
This is Rachel Meghan Markle in 2006 at a Hamptons party where Harvey Weinstein was there. But of course, nobody was mentioning Meghan Markle because she was a nobody.
Meghan is on a yacht sailing in the Mediterranean off the coast of the Formentera and Ibiza Islands in Spain. This trip happened in August 2016, just weeks before she started dating Prince Harry. The women in the photo are confirmed through their social media tags: Misha Inu, Heather Doak, and Benita Litt. Inu even designed the shirt Meghan wore for her first public appearance with Harry, putting her right at the center of those early introductions. So while the false CAC connection falls apart under scrutiny, and that's a relief, the verified details remain solid. The yacht, the timing, the network, the people, all real, all unchallenged. These are the pieces that matter. Then Burkill pops back into the narrative in December 2021. Mainstream media briefly reported it, and then buried it. David Bowe, chairman of Bowe, Schiller, and Flexner, one of the most powerful litigation firms in the US, gave an interview to the Daily Beast. He was representing Virginia Giuffre in her civil lawsuit against Prince Andrew. During the interview, Bowe revealed that his team had considered deposing Meghan Markle, not as a defendant, but as a witness. His reasoning was precise, and these are direct quotes from December 21st, 2021.
In my opinion, in my analysis, and my experience of decades, this kind of analysis for me is the real deal. If a photo such as this of Meghan Markle with Prince Andrew years ago surfaces, that will be quite an scandal.
Meghan was in the US, so jurisdiction applied. She had been a close associate of Prince Andrew and might have observed relevant events or heard accounts of them. She was considered reliable and someone who could provide truthful testimony. Bowe stressed that his team only had 10 to 12 depositions in total. They wouldn't waste one on a random celebrity. He explicitly ruled out Queen Elizabeth due to respect and age, but no such exemption applied to Meghan. Think about that. A senior attorney who had publicly challenged the US government, Hollywood studios, and Fortune 500 companies stated Meghan qualified as a potential witness in a high-profile case. This wasn't gossip. It was documented proximity and relevant knowledge within Andrew's circle. The timeline continued. On January 12, 2022, Judge Lewis Kaplan denied Andrew's motion to dismiss, moving the case toward discovery and making depositions imminent.
Sussexes only will talk to people who repeat their own narrative.
Yes.
And who they can control. So the idea that you can get the truth from the Sussexes is contradictory.
Just 5 weeks later, on February 15, 2022, Andrew reportedly settled for £12 million. The case never reached the point where Meghan would have been called to testify. Even though she wasn't involved directly, the sequence shows just how her proximity to key figures made her a serious consideration in a legal context. This isn't about rumors, it's about public records, legal processes, and verified connections. Virginia Giuffre later passed away in April 2025 at her property near Gabby, Western Australia. Meghan never had to testify, but the fact she was even considered highlights her connection to these elite networks. Virginia's story was tragic. She was 41. Her family said the toll of years of pressure and hardship became unbearable. 6 months later, her posthumous memoir, Nobody's Girl, was published, offering insight into her struggles. But the impact resonates far beyond one person. Here's the critical point. David Bowe didn't operate in a vacuum. He knew about the Soho House network, about Burkell's documented connections to controversial figures, and how these overlapping elite circles tied Meghan's world to Andrew's. He made all of this public in print for the Daily Beast. Yet Meghan has never publicly addressed these statements. Not once. This is the pattern that rarely gets noticed. Not the allegations themselves, but the silence around them. The Sussex have a very specific way of handling claims. They deny carefully, selectively, strategically.
She is so odious, it's beyond belief.
When Tom Bower published Revenge, they stayed silent, but allies subtly pushed back through sympathetic outlets. When Endgame accidentally leaked sensitive royal names, they issued carefully crafted non-responses. They have lawyers, a PR team, they know how to control the narrative if they choose. In Bower's case, they called the book Betrayal, labeled it a deranged conspiracy, and accused him of constructing elaborate theories about people he's never met. PR expert Renee Smith told The Express that the public reaction made the Sussex look deeply rattled. Bower clearly hit a nerve. But notice what their official statement never does. It attacks the author, the methods, and motives, but it never directly denies the Yacht allegations. No mention of yachts, Soho House, Burkell, or David Bowe.
But what we've seen recently is the wokest of the woke turn on Harry and Meghan. It's their own kind turning on.
Not a word about Meghan's pre-Harry social network. I've reviewed every major public statement from the Sussex since 2020. None contain a direct denial of the yacht-related claims. Not from Meghan, not from Harry, not from anyone, not from any spokesperson in any outlet at any time. They have denied other things: brainwashing claims, bullying staff, fabricated Oprah interview details. But when it comes to the yacht questions, the issues David Bowe raised in the Daily Beast and Bower highlighted in The Spectator, the facts remain untouched, unanswered, and unchallenged. That silence speaks louder than words. It's not about ignoring allegations, it's about controlling which parts of the story get acknowledged and which parts simmer in the shadows. By now, it's clear. The Sussex story isn't just about headlines or gossip. It's about strategy, control, and what gets left unsaid. There's a hidden layer to everything, connections, networks, and moments that happen far from public view.
She's a con artist.
It was really important to me. I remember where I come from.
The yacht photos, the early introductions, the names that pop up in unexpected places, they're not random. They're part of a web linking high-profile social circles across continents. And while some have tried to dismiss these links as coincidence, the timeline and details say otherwise. Consider how elite networks operate. Parties, galas, private retreats. They're not just for fun. They're where introductions happen, alliances form, and reputations are built. A single person working behind the scenes can spark opportunities that ripple in ways the public never sees. That's exactly what happened with Meghan's early social circles. People like Marcus Anderson weren't just friends. They were the infrastructure making those connections possible. That's why public attention on one misidentified face doesn't change the bigger picture. It's not about a single photo, it's about the verified network and the events surrounding her before she became globally recognized. Even more striking is how verified documents and statements exist in parallel with public silence. Lawyers, PR teams, and advisors may control what's discussed openly, but they cannot erase facts already on record.
So long there have been rumors that many of us believe are true. And I think someone like Tom Bower can get these across the line and get them in print and prove that they are true.
When senior attorneys like David Boies publicly confirmed Meghan could have been a potential witness in a high-profile legal case, that wasn't rumor. That was the legal system acknowledging her proximity to key events. And yet, these confirmations rarely hit headlines because the narrative is tightly managed. Silence becomes the strategy. Some questions ignored entirely while others are disputed loudly. Then there's the timing. Every event, from Mediterranean yacht trips to Hollywood parties, fits a pattern, revealing overlapping social circles. The names, the public appearances, they're threads connecting a person to a wider network, and those threads are documented. Independent researchers, journalists, and legal filings have tracked these details for years. The pieces don't disappear just because someone issues a careful denial or attacks an author's credibility.
I think that's the whole issue, that they were globally, and they are globally known, but because of the way they behaved in the last 4 or 5 years, and as the price of betrayal, their reputation and their status and their fortunes are crumbling.
That's the point most people miss. It's not just about what's printed in the press, it's about what's left unsaid. The denials, the carefully crafted statements, the selective outrage, they're designed to draw attention away from verified facts that matter. Every avoided question, every silent statement, reinforces the significance of what was documented. The yacht photos, the names in public records, the events before Meghan became a household name. Those details remain untouched and continue shaping the narrative for anyone watching closely. The pattern is unmistakable. This isn't chaos or randomness, it's a managed story, with missing pieces deliberately left in the shadows. As more details emerge, those shadows shrink, revealing connections and networks some hoped would stay hidden. Those claims? Nothing. No comment, no denial, no legal threat, just silence. And that silence speaks volumes. When you attack an author but refuse to deny the one detail the audience actually wants addressed, that's not just a move, it's a tell. It signals exactly what people have suspected all along. Here's where things stand. Andrew was arrested on February 19th.
A man called Kevin Blatt. Now, he is a celebrity tape broker, ladies, where he describes a 2018 call from a woman claiming to possess a 4-year-old tape of a Meghan who is about to marry a prince.
Her name is Meghan, and she's about to marry a prince in England.
What?
Yeah, this story's not true, too. It is true. I believe this is Meghan.
Just 3 weeks earlier, the Department of Justice had released over 3 million pages of files connected to high-profile social networks. Within 72 hours of Andrew's arrest, the Yacht story exploded. Allegations that had lived quietly in independent media forums suddenly migrated to mainstream platforms. Tom Bauer printed the questions in The Spectator. On March 17th, Dan Wooten broadcast fresh claims on his Substack show. The very next day, Bauer's betrayal pushed the topic squarely into the mainstream. And even though the book mainly focused on post-royal years, that's exactly why the Sussex response was so aggressive. It wasn't about brainwashing claims, charity controversies, or the serialized Times articles. It was one undeniable fact. The book made Meghan's past fair game for outlets that had previously avoided it. Suddenly, the Overton window shifted. What was once off-limits became fair discussion in respected publications. Jack Royston even warned about the Streisand effect. By attacking the book publicly, the Sussex guaranteed more people would read it. By March 15th, Betrayal had hit #1 on Amazon before a single copy even shipped. Once the door opens in mainstream British media, it doesn't close.
The privacy laws are pretty strong here, and that's what she used as a weapon at the time. So there were quite a few things about her personal life. I'll work them into another book.
Legal teams, editorial review, and institutional backing give the story permanence, and I've been tracking it the whole time. Everyone else has verified facts, named sources, court filings. They're all on record. Nobody here was in those private rooms. But when a respected magazine prints the questions, when a senior litigator publicly identifies Meghan as a potential witness in a high-profile case, when someone running a brand audit warns she's commercially sensitive, and the only response is to attack the messenger while ignoring the message itself, that silence stops being strategic. It becomes the story. And the Yacht questions? They're only the tip of a much larger network, a much deeper pattern. Over 8 years, across 3 continents, 6 people independently tried to put pieces of this story on record. They didn't know each other, didn't coordinate, and each faced consequences. Some public, some behind the scenes. That's not coincidence. That's a system, a structure operating silently for years, shaping narratives, controlling who can speak, and suppressing uncomfortable truths. The pattern connecting these individuals and the repercussions they faced is deliberate. It points straight to the forces working behind the curtain. The full breakdown of that system and how it affected each person trying to bring this story forward is coming next. It's the missing piece that ties all previous chapters together, showing this is more than isolated events. This is a network, a method, a pattern, and it's about to be revealed. If you've got thoughts on this, drop them in the comments. Let's hear what you think. If this breakdown opened your eyes, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more deep dives like this. Don't forget to smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to see it.